Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to my studio. My name is Joseph Finchum, you are you, and today we're making a logo design that nobody asked for, but, you know, I thought it would be fun to show everyone a way to do it. Haha. Good job, Nick. I'm trying out some new stuff. Let me know if you can hear me and see me. I had to do a whole bunch of resetting of stuff, so I'm not sure everything is working. Do I have sound and video? All that good stuff. Just waiting on that. So here's one new thing. Hey, there we go. We got a little banner. Oh, that's gonna be annoying. Let's turn off the autofocus. Audio, video, check. Great. Thank you, Nick. So, some of the new things I'm testing out is these little banner things that I have. And also, hey, look at that. I can put comments on the screen now. So, okay. I mean, this isn't going to be anything special. It's just for fun, like the description says, and I have a little bit of an idea in my head, so we're gonna get right into it. Okay, let's go. So, I know that I want it to be a circular shape, so I'm going to start off. Well, first thing I should do is bring up... Oh, those don't appear on the screen, huh? Or am I on the wrong page? I could be on the wrong page. No, okay. Huh. I did not know that the drop-down windows in Photoshop don't appear on the screen. So, I don't know how to fix that, if there is even a way to fix it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the scale sizing, but this will just give me the ability to drop in some guidelines at the halfway marks, and that'll help me get everything centered and squared away. So I'm going to start with a circle. I'm holding shift so that I get a perfect circle. If you let go of shift, you can make any shape you want. Holding shift will give me a perfect circle. I'll try and center this a little bit. Doesn't need to be perfect yet. I can fix it later. So, let's see what we're doing. It is cool, Brent. How you doing? Glad you could join us. So, yeah, what are we doing here? There we go. Okay, so, my circle. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick a color. Wow, none of the menus show up. I figure since it's the stream team, I should go for a bit of a teal color, so that's what I'm doing. Fill bucket. Boom. There we go. We got a nice circle. Now, I'm going into the Select tab, going to Modify, Contract, let's say 20 pixels. Is that enough? No, that is nowhere near enough. Let's go for another 30 to make it 50. Not perfect. Nice and thin though, so I like that. And I'll go back to the Select tab, click Inverse, and now I'm going to go back, hit X to switch over to my white, go to the brush. Nope, I didn't want to invert that. Okay, now I'm going back to, I'm just filling it in with white. I could use the fill button, which would be easier. There we go. I'm actually already doing this wrong because what I want is a white circle, but I don't have a colored background. So hold on. Let's do this. Let's start all over basically. Okay. Inverse. Fill white. There we go. Still not what I want. But I can re-invert it. Expand by 50. And get my eraser tool. Wow, that's kind of small. I'm going to make it as large as I can. Invert it again. That worked. Okay. What is going on here? Okay. We're back to where I want to be. Invert. Delete it. Okay. Now I got the circle I want. Now, I'm going to copy this layer and make a new layer. I'm getting confused at which camera to look at because I'm using the Logitech camera to film instead of the one I normally have on me, since I only need one camera in this one. Hi Pat Kelly, thank you for joining. Okay, so now on this new layer I'm going to scale it. Now when you scale, whatever corner you grab, whatever dot you grab on, either, you know, on the corners or on the sides, whichever one you grab, you scale towards the opposite corner or the opposite side. So if I just grab this and scale it, it's going to go up and down, left and right. If you grab it and you hold shift, it'll stay a perfect circle. And if you press on PC, it's Alt and Shift. And on Mac, I think it's Command and Shift, but I'm not quite sure because I don't use Macs and haven't in a long time. But you hit Alt and Shift, and it scales to the center. So that's how I'm going to get my nice rings. Okay. There we go. Now I can... Oh. I'm going to hit Control E to merge those two layers together. And now I can use my magic wand tool to select just in there. Hit X to switch my color. You can see it. I can't point to it. Over here, where the two swatches are, you hit X and it just flips them. Shortcuts are amazing. It's so much easier than running through everything and clicking on all the menus and stuff. So go back to the fill tool, put some teal in there, back to the magic wand, select the center. I may change this as we go. I may change the color of the outer circle, but we'll see. This is all in Photoshop so far. Word of warning, I'm using Photoshop CS5. It's a very old version of Photoshop. I still have not upgraded to Photoshop CC because, well, that costs something every month and I don't have that, so I use what I have. And Photoshop CS5 is what I have. Okay. So, we're off to a good start so far. But, I shouldn't have put those on the same layer, and I'm an idiot for doing that, so I'm going to copy them, cut them, I'm going to create a new layer, drop it below the white, hit Control Shift and V to paste in place. I'll undo it so you can see if you hit paste, see it's kind of off center, it's not directly where it should be. If you hit Control Shift and paste, you put it exactly where you took it. You put it exactly where you took it from. See, I keep looking at the wrong camera. So, the first thing I want to do, I'm going to need a real background layer here with some color. So let's just drop it to black for now, so we can see everything. There we go. And what do I want to do first? Okay, so first I'm going to click on the white circle lines, and I'm going to FX, bezel and emboss. See, these windows are not showing up, and I don't know how to fix that. I only want a little bit of the bevel, just so it looks a little bit three-dimensional. Okay, now I'm gonna flip over to Illustrator. That didn't work. There we go. Now in Illustrator, I'm going to do pretty much the same thing with the circle. Cancel. Nope, that's a square. Pick the ellipse tool. It always helps to pick the right tool. I'm going to make a circle, holding down Shift so I can keep it a perfect circle. None of this really matters. I'm going up to the Type tool, and I'm going to use Type on Path. What the? Why is that at the bottom? That makes no sense. I'm going to increase the size of the text. as soon as I actually highlight it. Bring it down to 40. I'm going to switch it from regular to bold. I'm going to flip the whole thing around, holding shift to make it centered. Okay, now I have the word "the." Do I? You ever look at something and it just doesn't look right to you? Okay, so I'm just going to save this to my desktop. Call it "the." Flip back to Photoshop. File. Place. And I'm just going to drop it right in there. It's a little off center. So let's transform. Tilting it just a little bit. Trying to get the H right in the center. Okay, that's good for now. Go back into Illustrator. I'm going to turn off that layer. I'm going to create a new layer. Actually, I don't even need to do that. I have the ring here. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to do another type on path, but I'm going on the inside. This might not work because it's not going where I want it. Let's do all caps. Okay, this is not doing what I want it to. So let's go back to my type tool. Why is it not? It's not going where I want it to. I may, you know what? I'm going to put this on the new layer. Go back to my type tool. And again, it's not going on the inside where I want it. Ugh. Hey, hiccups are a part of it. Wow, okay, yes, Nick. Nick said, don't forget to like and hit the thumbs up button. I agree. Hi, Sheila Hubbard. Thank you for joining. Hi, Tara. Thank you for joining. Okay, so we're off to a bad start, but we're getting there. I still don't know why it's not letting me do the inverse type. I know there's a place that changes that. But unfortunately, I can't remember where that is. Okay, I may have to go back into Photoshop and try and do that. You can't even see what I was just doing because I forgot to change the screen. So, we're going to have to try and do this here. And we'll just have to bend it and try and make it fit. So we'll go in there. Is this what I want? I don't know. I have to rasterize the type so that it's editable. Okay, I really should have tested some of this first. You know, I hope you do learn something, Sheila. And Nick, I may have been on the right layer, I may have been on the wrong layer. See, I'm looking at the chat and not the right camera again. Okay. It's always great when you forget how to do stuff live on air. Let's see. Nope. That's not what we want. I'm going to go back to warp. I'm going to zoom way in on it so I can actually see what I'm doing. getting way more warped than I want it to be, but we're going to try and fix that. We're just going to keep playing with it till we get it somewhere near where we want it. This can come down a little. Adjust this back up. I can also stretch it out a bit. Try and get it a little bit more flow to the letters. This is definitely the hard way of doing this. Okay. And it's still a little bit too off. Go back to warp. Now this is going to be a little weird because I'm rewarping something I've already warped. Okay, it's not perfect, but it'll do for the time being. Shrink it back down so we can see what we're doing. Okay, now do we want to keep the center the same teal color? I don't know. This should definitely be much longer. At least that's how I saw it in my head. Oh yeah, that's not going to work right. But we can try warping it again. Trial and error, that's what we're doing here. Yeah, there should be an arc text, but it's not showing up for me. It's almost there. I'm just looking for where that arc text should be, and for some reason I don't have it. I know it's here somewhere. Yeah, it doesn't seem to exist. So, anyway, we'll go back to just trying to play around with it. Now, I don't know why, but when you import from Illustrator into Photoshop, the black gets knocked down a bit and becomes a little bit more gray. So I'm just going to magic wand the text I brought in before, select my brush, and bring that back to being black. Okay. So now I'm going to go back into Illustrator and work on my little character type creations. I'm not doing actual full-on characters. I'm going to use the line tool. Okay. Make sure your colors are set the way you want them. I want a black stroke and no fill. Okay, let's try this again. And I can adjust this at any time that I want. But the idea I'm going for is to make kind of like a TV screen, or a monitor, if you will. And I'll adjust this to get it closer to being a box in perspective. I want it to be a little bit bigger than that. Okay, nice and simple. I'm going to create another box inside of it. Give it a little bit of dimension. Stop it. Let's zoom in on it a little bit. That ought to help. Yeah, I haven't been playing. Let me respond to Sheila Hubbard. I haven't been messing around with Photoshop and Illustrator in a long time, so I'm definitely a bit rusty. So, okay. I don't want that deep. So I'm going to bring that in a little bit. Okay. I'm going to put like a little kind of vent thing over here. Put a couple more lines in so that it looks kind of like a vent. And I can adjust these on the fly when I want to. Because that perspective is way off. So, bring this one up. Bring this one up a little. I'm using the arrow keys to adjust them a bit. I'm going to select this whole side and pull it down just a little bit. There we go. That's looking kind of right. I can adjust this later. I'm just blocking in some basic shapes here. Is it starting to look like kind of like a robot with a monitor for a head? Because that's what it's supposed to look like. Angela, I am using OBS, but what I'm doing is I'm using the free account that you can sign up for with StreamYard, and then I'm using StreamYard in, what do they call it in here? In a custom browser dock within OBS. And then I'm just doing a window capture of StreamYard to put the comments on the screen. I don't know why OBS does not have a feature to do that, but they don't. So I found a workaround. So, I hope that answers your question. Okay. Okay, now I can start filling some of this stuff in. I'm just going to change the fill on these to white so that they're solid. And I can select all of these at once, do the same thing. Now, this I may have to recreate this box. Okay, but this fill is going to be a light gray. This slightly darker. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. And then I'm gonna have to make a new layer and make this whole thing one solid box so that I can fill it. That did not work. Okay, try this again. Back to my pen tool. I'm going to have to do this a little bit different so that I don't hit the anchor points. But now I'll just drag them to where I want them, which is on the anchor points. And now I can change the color of that box to what I want. Go back to this one. Okay, now I'm going to copy this whole thing, paste in place. Oh, I missed a whole spot, so let me undo that, copy the whole thing, paste in place, object, transform, reflect, bring this one over here, I'm gonna get this a little centered now that I have the whole thing out, and I'm gonna adjust them I'm gonna adjust one of them a little bit so that they're not exactly the same. Just gonna change the perspective a little bit on this one. Hold on, I gotta check on a cat. Cats. They're funny. Okay, so I screwed that up somewhere along the lines there. Because I missed that. And then I gotta bring this back up here. Is that right? No. Adjusting the wrong anchor point is not going to do it. Why are you not letting me grab the anchor point I want to grab? Okay. There we go. Stop grabbing things by accident. Both my mouse and my spacebar have a little bit trouble accepting clicks sometimes, so you may see me mess that up a few times. Okay. Now that I got that, I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm just going to hide that layer for a second. I used Shift to make a perfect circle. Now I'm going to hit Alt, click on it, hit Shift to keep it. By pressing Shift, it locks it into the same line. Okay, I got two circles. Those are going to be eyes. Flip this around. That's too deep. Try and get that a little bit more center. Back to my pen tool. That shape's a little off. So let's try and fix this. That's closer to what I want. It's still a little wide. Nope. I only want this. And I want to scale it, so it kind of does look like the guy on the Pringles can. But it's also, it's kind of supposed to be you, Nick. So. I'm going to fill these black. I'm going to take away my border. I should have given myself another ruler, which I didn't. So let me show rulers. Give me a guideline here. Then I can adjust everything on the guideline so that things are actually even. It kind of looks even. Make another little circle, fill this one white. Hit Alt to copy it. Okay, that's one. Now I'm going to copy the eyes. I'm going to copy the mouth. And rotate it, because I kind of want to go with the, like a, what do they call it? Like the theater faces, the happy and sad. Now, I don't have a goatee, but I do have a little, I got my little thing here, so just go a little smaller. And these will be my faces. Copy. I'm gonna switch back to Photoshop. Well, actually, I didn't need to do that yet, so. Don't place. I hope it kind of has the image. I used the picture of you and Leo. For some reason, I always want to say Lou. It's Leo, right? I think it's Leo. I'll call you Mr. Chips if you want. Okay, so let me go back to Illustrator and bring this layer back in. Bring this over here, and we're going to need to shear, I think. Oh no. Yeah, we're not going to do it that way, because this seems to want it to be a little different. Placement isn't bad, but I'm gonna have to cut this out. So that I can put it behind everything. And then I can take the little robot guys, drop them in between. There, now they sit behind the other one, which is what I wanted. If you hit Control and click on the image in the layer you want to use, you'll select everything that's in that layer. There we go. Doesn't really take up as much room as I wanted, so I'm going to edit again, and I'm just going to stretch it up a bit. There we go. Now, jump back over to Illustrator so I can grab my little faces. Do this one first, copy it, back into Photoshop, paste. Now I'll skew it, try and get the perspective right, scale it. Hey, I just realized that I missed a part. Where did I guess I lost the little beard thing. Let me put Nick's little beard back. That's too big. There we go. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Let me go back in here, paste it, shrink it, move it, skew it, scale it. Jump back into Illustrator, grab the other one. There we go. Okay. I gotta go back to this layer. We gotta give this some dimension. So I'm just selecting the areas I want and then filling them in. Because they're facing different directions. Why are you not filling all the way? I hate when Photoshop does weird things. You know what? Let me let's change that and make those a little darker. Okay. I don't really want there to be any white in it, so I'm going to fill all of this in. Okay, not bad. Okay, I'm going to jump back into Illustrator because I have some other little things I want to add. Create a new layer. How do I want to do this? Oof. I hate when they make the color of the lines on the layer too hard to see. So I'm going to change the color of that. Okay, now it's a blue instead of yellow. So that's good. This is what I'm talking about when I say my click thing doesn't always work. Change that to white. If you haven't figured it out yet, this is a wrench. I know that's not this isn't exactly the shape of a wrench. But it's close enough for what I want. Oh. Thanks, Nick. It would help if you guys could see what I'm doing, wouldn't it? Okay, there's my cheesy wrench, which needs a little bit of adjustments. Eh. Okay. Actually, let me ungroup that. I want this a little thinner. Okay, gotta do it the hard way. Back into Photoshop. Ah. If you can see what I'm going for here, let me know. Back into Photoshop. Make these really tiny. Gotta bring this way up here so that it's actually in the right spot. Still too big. How we looking here? Alright, I do need to go back to the face layers. And readjust these because they're not gray. I mean, they're not black, they're gray. Go back to this one. Okay. Well, do we want to keep that color there? I do want to. I want to do a little bit more here. I just want to little indication of some more body shape in here. But doesn't look exactly how I want it. No, that's definitely way off. That's not where I meant to put it at all. I meant to put it in there. Trying to keep it behind the frame. There we go. Now, do I want to keep that back middle circle the same color? And I do know that I need to put a line in here on these two spots here. It's not going to work that well. Okay. And that is not right. Nope, that's not gonna work. Okay, let's see if we can. Just do a little repair work here. Because, you know, I wasn't paying as close of attention as I should have been. So, gotta fix some things. There we go. I hate when I do that. How's that looking so far? It's kind of what I was envisioning in my head, but a little crude. You guys could hear the ice cream man through this. We have 6 ice cream men in this area who have been battling with each other for years. They've actually gotten to the point where there's a park like 100 yards up the block, and they have gotten to the point where one ice cream man went into the park and 2 other ones tried to block the entrance to not let him out, and they started fighting with each other, and people had to call the cops on them. It's ridiculous. Okay. We got a whole lot of layers going on here. I still don't know if I want to keep the tealish green color in the center, or if we want something more vibrant. Let's try. This could be bad, but we're gonna give it a try. Try a yellow. Too bright? I'm not sure I understand. I'm not sure I know what you mean by we're literally incandescent. Do you mean it in that thing? Why can't I point in the right direction? Do you mean in that, or were you referring to something else that I missed? Try red. We can try red. Uh-oh. Hold on a second. I do the bad thing before. I added it to the wrong layer when I did the yellow. So, hold on. Let me put my yellow back. Now I'll make another layer. And we can try the red. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's similar to what I was seeing in my head. I think I want to just scale this a little. A little bit more behind it. There we go. And I was wondering if maybe the computer screen should be black and the eyes and, you know, the facial features, should they be more of a green, like, you know, like old-fashioned computers with the black and green? But indeed, when ice cream trucks attack. Okay, yeah, because we're on a screen. How are we doing on time? Not bad. Is there anything else I can do to adjust? I mean, I did have an idea of having like the crossed arms, you know, like back to back, arms crossed. But because they're like, they would look like Bender's arms from Futurama, I didn't know if I wanted to do that. Maybe we can give these some color. Go with that one. And then on this side, go with that color. You like the black? Really? I mean, that's just turning everything off. I mean, it would look good on a shirt or something. If the stream team ever has merch. Okay, and we can... Oh, don't do that. I'm going to select every single layer. Scale. Let's bring it up in size. And there we go. There's our, pretty much our finished product. But now that I see it, I think one of the faces is a little off. The other one's a little too big. So let's scale that down. Big and not filled in properly. But that is what happens when you're not paying attention. Where is... Select both of these, because these are not black either. Black is the new red. Yeah, I'm kind of liking the black too. I still want to adjust a few things though. Like, I think this needs some definition, so. I don't know if I like that. What's better, the solid gray or the two-tone gray? If I was going to put it on a shirt, I would spend a lot more time on this. But I do like it. I'm a little annoyed by the text on the bottom. And because I haven't been naming my layers, I'm not even sure which layer has the text on it. Oh, here we go. See if we can... Yeah. Give a little dimension to the text. Not a lot, just a little bit. Maybe a little drop shadow. Oh no, because it's covering up over the white, so let's get rid of the drop shadow. I don't like it. But we can add a little. Oh, it's not going to let me do it. Here, I'll do this. I'm going to combine all the little skull and crossbone things all into one layer, even though they're not exactly in the same positions on both sides. They're a little off. But now I can add a little drop shadow to those. Get nice and close so I can see where it is. I don't want it to be too dark, but it'll definitely drop in a little bit of dimension there. And if we did go with like the red background, add a drop shadow to that too. Now let me hide my guides, or clear them, don't matter. There we go. I wonder what would happen if we bevel that picture. No. I mean, it does add a little bit to it, but nah, I don't like it. That's not bad though. Yeah, I kind of like the skull and crossbones without the drop shadow. So, did anybody actually learn anything? Probably not. The solid gray two-tone gives it depth. Nick says the solid gray on the neck looks better. Yes, hammer ninjas indeed. So, yeah, I guess we can call it a tiny bit early, because I'm pretty much done with this. I'm going to save it as Stream Team T. And I still have caps lock. Alright. But yeah, like I said, it's a logo that nobody asked for and nobody really needed, but I wanted to do it. I felt like doing something different than the physical media that I've been doing since I started doing the live streams in January. So, yeah. That's where we'll call it for the day. You know, hit the buttons, do the things. My MeWe link is in the description, or at least it should be, and it's on the screen. Don't forget to join Lisa's group on MeWe. That's where we all hang out and where we all have fun. And yeah. And I guess I'll see you next Monday. If you saw in the description, I did a live stream of some gaming on Saturday night for the new Resident Evil game, and nobody showed up. I was hoping to test all this stuff with the banners in the chat in that before I did it here, just in case it didn't work and made me look like a fool. But there was no one there to chat, so that was kind of interesting. I enjoyed the game. I'm really looking forward to getting back into it. I want to do it. I want to stream it to, you know, just do something different. But yeah, you can check that out on my Dead Jester channel. The link is in the description, and I'll probably do it again. I may do it tomorrow night at 8 p.m. or 7 p.m., whichever. But I don't know yet. I may wait until Thursday because I have some stuff I have to do tomorrow, and if it runs long, I won't be able to do it. So, yeah. But the game is fun so far, so I'm enjoying it. So, yep. Okay. I think that's where we're calling it. And I'll see you next time. Bye.